Hi there, Alucard J here, and this is a continuation of my Slender guide. In this episode, I'm going to be looking at how to improve our Collect Papers script. Now, if anyone's been watching YouTube, they would have seen a new video for a standalone, collecting papers using a SphereCast. Okay, if anyone's watched that, they can see that it's greatly improved the functionality of the Collect Papers script. We can now pick up the papers a lot more reasonably and a lot more times than we expect to pick the papers up, or we weren't before with the raycast. So, first of all, I'll open up the script. We'll have a look how it currently works. So, if we get an input from the player, we build a ray. Okay, a ray will have a position where the ray starts. It is at the center of the screen width in half and the height by half. This is in the center of the screen. And then in this one ray declaration, we give it a direction as well. Okay, so this is a ray that is starting at origin at the center of the screen, and it's being cast in the forward of the camera, directly in the camera's forward. Okay, that is of type ray. Put that in there. So we declare a ray origin and direction, and we create a variable to store our hit information. Okay, and this is where currently it's all happening. If the physics raycast at the position and direction of the ray hits something within a distance to paper. Okay, I want to change this up. So let's bring out the Unity scripting reference. Now I should focus a lot more on this because this is really where it all happens. Now if you notice, even as I hit to open my internet browser, this is my home page. Okay, straight to my local reference, my Unity. Okay, so very, very useful. Now what are we doing today? We're doing a SphereCast. SphereCast has a couple of results. Let's just look at the first one. Okay, so here is a definition from Unity for the function SphereCast and all the parameters that it takes in to make it work. And if we look down here, that's just the main example. If we look down here, we can see other variations of that function where we can plug in different values, but as long as the values we give is what Unity is expecting, either any in this sequential order or the values in this sequential order, then it's going to work fine. So here's SphereCast. What's it doing? It's basically a brother of the raycast, so pretty much everything is exactly the same here. We have an origin, where does the ray start from? We have a direction, which way does it travel? Okay, and the only difference here we have is radius. Okay, so instead of a line, a single point, like a line, we are going to be casting a sphere. So you imagine a ball that's going to be shot in whichever direction that you tell it to. It's not just a line, it's just not like 1 pixel wide anymore. It's now a circle, like it has volume, it has dimensions, it has a radius. So anything within that volume, within that circle, will be hit, not just this little tiny point. So this is what we're doing. We're changing the raycast to a SphereCast. Let's go back to our collect papers and see how we can plug this in. What's changing, what's different? Now first of all, I did mention a new variable radius. So I'd like to set that up first. So I'm going to create a new variable. We're going to call this, it is the SphereCast radius, I guess. Okay, and I'm going to make this of type float, uneven number, and just to start off, give it a value that is the same width as the player. We'll just start off with a 1.0. So we have our SphereCast radius. I think everything else that exists from the raycast is going to work and it's ready to go. So let's quickly try and swap this around. Here's our raycast. What I'm going to do, copy that, and keep our original there. So that was the raycast method. Here we go. Raycasting method. So this one is going to be our SphereCasting. So if physics, let's just get rid of all this and start again. Okay, so if SphereCast, so if physics SphereCast, okay, and we're looking at the parameters. Notice that there's a few other variations of the function. We have an array already built here that starts at a position and goes in a direction. So let's use that variation. We have ray, the radius, we have a variable which will keep our hit info, we have distance. We also have layer mask. This is something I haven't covered, but will be in a future new series on how to put your colliders on different layers. So when you cast a ray, you're only looking for colliders on that layer. Okay, that's coming up later. So for our information, again to reiterate, we have a ray, it's called ray. Okay, it has a position and a direction. We now need the radius. Let's grab that. Here we go. We have a ray. We have, we have our SphereCast. We have our SphereCast radius. We have our hit info. Okay, and then we have our distance, which is the same distance to paper. And there we have it. Just one little modification, one new line, and we've changed the whole functionality of this whole script. But how, you ask? Well, let's go and check it out. First, save that out. Go back to Unity. We'll check for compilation errors. There are no compilation errors. So let's run in and test this out. We'll go to full screen so you can kind of see what's happening. See, I haven't moved any papers around, and my player is still running very fast for a walk because I'm still testing. Okay. Now normally in this instance, if you'd walked up to a paper, but the ray wasn't in the center of the screen. The paper collider was not lined up to the center of the screen, so therefore the ray would not intersect with the paper collider. If I press E now, what happens? Oh, that just disappeared. We weren't directly looking at it. How did that happen? Let's try something else. Let's get real close to this one. Let's have a look at that. Let's hit the E again. Okay, that's not quite picking up. So you see our sphere is pretty much like the light of our torch there. We're casting a sphere right in front of us, just like that torchlight is. See that perfect circle? That's what's happening. So let's kind of bring that paper into our SphereCast. If I hit the E, okay, that's just slightly out of sensitivity. Hit the E again. There we go. Now, to move on with that sensitivity, I will just keep that minimized when I resume. We have the player script now. We have a new variable here, SphereCast radius. What if I brought that all the way down? Okay, there's a nice low number. And we'll check against the paper again. So I resume play. Like I said, looking directly at it, our raycast would have worked. We're going to try so it's within the view, but just off the screen. See, I'm hitting E. You'll see me move in a little each time. Hit E. There we go. So we've just adjusted the sensitivity of our view to the papers by increasing our raycast. Our raycast is not just a line now, it's a SphereCast. It has some width, it has some volume, it has some breadth. See, same thing there. If I just even leave the camera there, do not move it. Where's our SphereCast radius? Let's bring that back up. I started at 1. Let's just test 1 again. Alright, I'm going to try and not move the mouse. Unpause. Hit the E. And there we go. We've increased the radius. We've increased our vision on the scene. And my flashlight is going. Fantastic. Alright, so that was very short and sweet. Much shorter than a standalone video I just recorded. But hopefully you can see immediately what is happening there. In the olden days, we had to be staring right. Well, a part of the paper collider had to be in the center of the screen. Alright, so right there, looks like I'm looking at the man. Starting to get that effect. Alright, so if we were here with our raycast, even staring right at the paper, but the center of the screen is not looking at the paper itself. So if I were to hit E here in the old case, we wouldn't have picked up the paper. I hit E, and there we go. Offset, it's working. Alright, and you can see how this is starting to happen for us. So the person's getting a little bit excited, they're running around. Oh my gosh, there's a pepper. Let's quickly grab it. Bang! There we go. Didn't have to stop, didn't have to, whoa, let's get the mouse looking directly at it. And let's look at the guy too. Alright, so there we have it. Collecting papers with a SphereCast. Gives you that little bit more sensitivity. Okay, I hope this has proved helpful and useful, and people are just going, wow, want to try it out for themselves. So, wait to see what happens in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.